Welcome back, friends, to Occultists Anonymous, sponsored by Roll20, the Onyx Path, and viewers like you. Thank you very much to everybody who supports us, joins us, and is just part of our community. We really appreciate you. And hi to brand new members that join literally just popping in on Twitch, because apparently that happens, and I had never thought about that. Very cool to have you join us. If stuff doesn't make sense, ask the chat or come by Discord, eatinto.space. But a very special shout out to our patrons who support us monetarily, let us do cool stuff, and lets me pay the players, which I appreciate because all this shenanigan stuff is kind of my fault, and I've just kind of dragged them along.
It's true, we do blame him.
Yeah, if anything goes wrong, it's my fault. Sorry. A shout
Somehow
out.
Drew broke Craig's mic.
What? When?
What? On the last episode. That's why he only had 8 seconds of recording. It's your fault.
It was my fault. Special shout out to Ryan, Thomas, Schmitty, James, Perry, Josh, Doc, Michael, Bernie, Roy Visgrad, John, Brandon, Cinna, Puppeteer, Julian, Firekeeper, Facepalm Achieved, Melissa, Danny, Moku, Terry, Algos, Alan Michael, One True Michael, Butter, Lance, Jenny, The Bounty, Noba, Sebastian, Giovanni, Cat Feathers, Alexander, Jack, Stefan, Seth, Serranus, Emil, Usuf Sama, and Al.
That's another completely different order than it was last
Dude,
time.
I'm telling you, I don't know what Patreon is doing. I'm going to see
I like
if
when
can
they're
figure-
alphabetical or reverse alphabetical.
Yeah, we're going to see if I can
Give
get
us a
that.
I like the alphabetical because we have like 4 owls at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's so terrific. Al.
Not to mention the Michaels.
I almost had them memorized. Okay, sorry. Hi, guys, we're back. Enough talking about the Patreon roster. I'll figure that out later. When we last left the Cabal, Tilly, the dread-haired hippie chick who turns out to be a minister, or not a minister, let's be very clear, a member of the Ministry of Mammon, showed up and basically threatened the Cabal and said, yo, give us your territory or sign up to work for us, or we go after your loved ones and people that you care about. Travis and Weird said, you know what, we're gonna have to think about this. This might require some thought, so we'll see you tomorrow.
Our thoughts are no.
Sure. And so we pick up literally
with Songbird getting there and having opinions about things.
Oh, sure. But yes, we pick up with Tilly leaving with the door slamming and Titus Network, or Titus and Weird chatting a little bit. Eventually, Songbird wakes up and checks their text messages.
Yeah, it's like text to Weird. Am I needed? What's up?
We need to have a meeting, but it's not immediate. We have 24 hours.
So should I walk or ...
Take your time, grab a coffee. We're all here.
So should I
Are you-
walk or ...
Well, do you want to ride?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, Legacy Attainment, I appear next to Songbird.
No,
Hey.
you can do
You
it
just bring him
reverse.
to you. Yeah.
Okay, I can bring him.
Because remember, co-location,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
literally...
right. So, yeah. So, welcome back.
I imagine you like peer in my sight and like grab me and then go. You have to like touch, right?
Mhm.
Or I guess you just reach and poke me. Like poke me right in the forehead. Like, son of a bitch.
Yep.
I'm getting used to this, okay? And I'm let's take advantage of my friends and what they can do.
Believe me, I understand. Space is weird.
Yeah. All right. What's up? We had a visitor? Not anymore?
Nope, she left. The Ministry of Mammon stopped by.
Cool. They want
They've been kind of hunkered down in their sanctums and surrounding their hollows as we laid claim to southern Manhattan. And they were waiting for us to kick in their doors, and when they didn't, they said, well, let's go talk to them. So they showed up here.
okay.
They want half our territory.
That's not
Or
happening.
for us to work for them.
That's not happening.
Well,
Right.
they won't have their territory or us to agree to maintain the illusion that we're working for them.
That's not happening.
They're going to tell all the other seers that we're
Mhm.
totally protecting their streets.
That's not happening.
Yeah, no. And then what they offered us in return was to not go ruin the lives of everyone we care about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right? They're
So
real good
they're
at
not-
bargaining.
They're not great at bargaining.
So they just want us to kill them, or like what?
Right.
Well, if they know anything about us, they know that's going to be Raven waving a red cape in front of us.
Right.
So, options.
All right.
Well, but there's a couple things I'm thinking about. Like, how do we know that she was actually from the Ministry of Mammon? And that she isn't from some other ministry hoping to provoke us to attack the Ministry of Mammon?
I mean, why would they lie about this?
Because they're seers.
Because they're, first of all, because they're seers. Second, that one of the other ministries might have a big advantage to gain if we suddenly wiped out the Ministry of Mammon in Lower Manhattan. I mean,
Network
they
does-
fight against each other as much as they fight against us.
Right. Yeah, and like Network does like point out, it's like, I mean, Abaddon knew we weren't getting along with the Panopticon.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Panopticon obviously doesn't like us and isn't getting along with us. You guys had a run in with some seer flunkies who called you out on a duel.
Yeah, they were working
Yeah, I
for...
guess-
They were working
I
for
guess
the
making-
Panopticon, right?
They're Paternoster.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, but they were mercenaries.
Employed by the
Oh, right.
Yeah. They
I
were
mean, I
contracted.
guess pissing off every seer to the point where they eventually all gang up on us is not a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason to believe anything that she said.
Yeah. I feel like a good first step, though, would be to fill out what we would be up against if this does turn into a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not... Again, if they just wanted us to, like, pull our border back from their courthouse, fine. We don't go near it anyways. But no, they want, like, half. And I'm not willing to abandon half of the nice little safe. Like, what's the word? Like the area we've got marked out.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are on board with that.
Okay.
Yeah, like Network and Titus are like, yeah, we're kind of attached. Like it's what we've
Yeah.
been doing for the past 6 months. Network especially.
And
Like, this is
currently
his obsession.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
like,
currently
something
the only
just
option we've
feels
been given-
wrong about this whole, like, Mammon, the Ministry of Mammon's got to know that we're not going to be inclined to do anything they say. So why would they, if this was somebody from Mammon, why would they even approach us? I
What
don't
were you
think
saying,
it was.
saying, well, currently the only option that doesn't have us abandoning half of our territory is the one that has us signing a paper saying that they're allowed to tell the other seers that we're doing their bidding here. Which, no.
Jed says we got some people to turn into blood.
Yeah. I mean, functionally speaking, things wouldn't change under that arrangement, except they would have a piece of paper or some sort of thing to tell other
Yes, I
seers
mean-
that, hey, these guys are working for us, and now we become a
And it
target for
only
every other-
applies to seers, is the thing, because like no one in the Consilium thinks we're working for the seers. They sent us here; they know why we're here. They would just let them posture at their fellow seers.
Network kind of leans in and says, I mean, but if they had that and they go waving it in the face of other Consilium,
Yeah, it can make us some enemies.
you know,
So, step one, I'm going to hit up the Free Council. Just as a, I'm going to tell people what the threats we're being given are.
sure.
I feel like we should tell our allies that are likely to be affected. So, werewolves. Who else y'all can think of that they might go after?
Well, yeah, Network is like I mean, how much am I allowed to tell him? Because, that's his thing. Because, like, outside of the, like, groups that you guys have contacted, he has a bunch of contacts of, like, hedge wizards and, witches and various things of that nature.
They're not in danger yet. They might be.
Yeah, tell them that somebody has threatened anyone who's associated with us to try and get at us.
How do I tell them that doesn't send them all into a panic?
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned with dealing with. Just like rescue one, they know what they're being threatened by.
Mm-hmm.
Just like regular people, that's highly worrying thing to be told.
Right.
Um,
Especially since I've spent the past 6 months explaining
building
to them,
relationships with them.
Yeah.
So maybe we don't tell them, not yet.
Okay.
Tell ones who can actually do something about the threats.
So yeah, right now that's Phantasm Society, the werewolves,
Rescue one.
And
Vampires. But I don't. I mean, is a good point. Are we allies?
Well, I mean, we're on conversational bits, and that might.
Yeah, I would text Tassos.
Okay.
Songbird, if you want to tell Shiko, she's got some god powers now, right? Empowered by a god.
She has really good influence on other vampires under her purview.
Well, yeah.
Dominion, even.
Mm-hmm. So where do you guys start?
I'm going to text Factory first.
Okay. Yeah, so Factory
Titus was hitting up the werewolves. He's got that.
Okay. Yeah, so Titus is like, okay, cool. By the way, weird, did you get my text about Garage? Because she offered me a car. I'm going to go get on the bus.
Sure.
And then ducks out. And heads off. But yeah, Factory basically gets that text. There's a couple minutes, and she goes, because I imagine the short of it is Ministry of Mammon has threatened us about our territory.
Yeah.
Or something. And her response is, actually, I think her response is, I'm going to convene a meeting with the council.
Okay. Because, the council also put us here. That was part of my concern with it.
I should give Shodell a heads up then, too.
Shodell is not on the council.
No, I know, but Shodell has the ear of the top or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Songbirds going to go for a walk.
Okay. Everybody's going on walks today.
So much walking today.
The door or something?
No.
Okay.
I'll be back. I am heading south to Columbus Park.
Cool. On your way there, you get a text from Hadramiel that says, meeting tonight, wear something nice.
Okay. Good news, Columbus Park is sort of on the way down to Soho, so I can go shopping.
Cool.
But first, I'm going to go to Columbus Park, which is across the street from the New York State Supreme Court.
I was like, what? Where are we going, man?
Do what I think you're going to do.
It's a great idea.
There's a wonderful landscaped play area and basketball courts and stuff.
Aw.
Yeah.
Say that's by Canal. Maybe is it by Canals?
Wait, Washington Square Park?
No, Columbus Park.
Oh, Columbus Park. Excuse me.
No, Washington Square Park's right in the middle of East Village.
Right, it was
wonderful, and I love it.
Just north of the territory. I was like, wait, that's not right. Okay, cool. I see it. Well, oh yes, landscaped play area and basketball courts. I see. I'm with you now. It's what it says on Google Maps for those of you following along at home.
I mean, I did actually like go in and look in person, so, or not in person, but I dropped the little guy.
We used space magic to scry on Washington Park, or damn Columbus Park. It's like, yeah. I'm just gonna drink my coffee. Please continue.
I'm gonna find myself a little spot to sit, and what did the ley lines look around here with Prime Vision and stuff?
Go ahead and just, for my sake, go ahead and roll Gnosis plus Prime, because Prime does not let you see ley lines, but Geomancy does. Yeah. So quick, look around the area. I have too many tabs open. Official Knights Radiant quiz. We'll have to wait for later. Close that tab. And a quick look around the resonance here. There's various different resonances and stuff like that. The ley lines that you can see that cross through that hallow. As I pull open a very, very handy book that I have that literally has a bunch of such things. Oh, it's loading really slow. Region. High finance. Resonances of competition, greed, volatility. Hold up. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll just go with that because my PDF has frozen. But yeah, kind of the stuff you would expect, especially in this. Well, this particular area is a bit more judicial, but just a little bit south from here, and I think west, it starts to get far more financial. But
do the ley lines like intersect enough to give me a good area to say aim a spell at and detect the hollow, or am I going to have to do more of like a blanket kind of thing?
You need to affect the hallow itself. You at least know that it is on the top floor of the New York County Supreme Court.
So get it down to like advanced scale like -2 or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Right. Spell casting scale. -2.
Cool.
Yeah. I had to think it over, but yeah. And we have somebody in chat who's apparently in New York. I apologize for what I do to your city on a weekly basis.
This is fantasy New York. It's built the way we need it to be.
Yep. And I'm trying to remember, because if you're doing Hallow Dance, the withstand is the Hallow's rating, and then potency.
Yeah, I got it.
1 per. Okay. All right. So
Hollows max out at 5, right?
Correct.
Okay. Like that is the thing
generally speaking. Yes.
That would be a thing that reasonably certain, like Songbird would know how much oomph he would possibly need for this spell.
And Weird can tell you back early on that the fate spell for finding a 5-dot hallow took her to that courthouse, which I'm sure is one of those tales of like, hey, listen, guys, when you're using fate magic, careful what you wish for, because sometimes it might walk you right into a bunch of seers.
She almost walked in.
All right, so
I thought about
I'm using my shadow name.
Sure.
I'm using my knuckles. To strike a blow at the resources of my enemies.
Okay.
And I am going to use a coin as well.
Okay. Cool. Not using your dedicated magical tool then.
My knuckles are my dedicated magical tool.
Oh, when did that happen?
Over 6 months.
Okay. You hadn't mentioned, but absolutely cool. No, that's fine.
Okay. I thought we talked about it. Sorry.
No big deal. It 100% makes sense.
Yeah.
Upgrade from. I mean, the dagger is cool and
The
all. And
dagger's
it is
great
perfected
too, and it
iron
fits,
now.
and it gets used.
Yeah. Okay,
So that will be
4 overreach, which would be 8 paradox.
So 6
reduced
dice.
down to 6.
I'll spend 3 mana.
Okay.
So 3 dice.
Okay.
Roll my 6 wisdom.
Mm-hmm. 1 success.
Take the
Get
old
that
bashing.
1 bashing wound.
Cool.
And
And
the total
I'm
is
going to literally the imago on this is just like Songbird like reaching out and just like crushing all the pipes of the different ley lines that like coalesce in this hollow
Mhm.
and just like crushing the flow so it doesn't work anymore.
Right. And so now, one thing I'm going to point out here, are you trying to shut this off or just reduce it? Okay. Because it has withstand equal
Yeah.
to 5.
Yeah.
How much
I'm
potency?
casting a 6 potency spell.
So it will reduce by 1. One effective dot per point of potency.
Misread that spell.
That's why I was like, I mean, crushing pipes, I'm on board. I dig the imago, but it's not going to shut it off.
Okay.
Right.
So
10
I
potency
need-
would shut it down. Which you would need 6 more
No.
potency, so 12.
9 potency, which no. Yes. Okay, 10. Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's
which is why I was like, damn, this spell.
okay. That's fine. I think I have enough dice still for that. Yeah, I'll have 6 dice if I do that.
Right, because we're currently sitting on 8.
My yantra plus willpower is 10. So that's the potency taken care of. Right? Or no. I'd have 4 dice.
Mhm.
Cool.
Okay, I need to roll Gnosis plus Prime.
I will spend a willpower on this.
Okay.
Ugh.
So yeah, you lash out at this spell, or not this spell, at the Hallow, and you feel wards, significant wards. And actually, yeah, that die pool should actually be 2 or 3 more higher. Wait, maybe 1 higher. Anyways, yeah, land that blow and feel it kind of rebuff.
It's now they know they've been attacked.
You know, something clashed against it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the clash just tells you that there was a clash, not necessarily what caused it or anything like that.
I'm going to try again.
All right. Not even
4
going to make you
dice of
take a
paradox.
penalty because it's not that you failed to
Nope.
cast. Yeah.
Just more paradox.
Yeah, paradox is going to be the problem here. So we were at 6 before. Now
It's
it's up
4.
to 7.
I'm spending mana. It's 4. I'm spending 3 mana.
Oh,
It's the
spending
same.
3 mana.
I'm casting the same exact spell. It's just 4 dice.
Cool.
Fuck me.
That's 0 successes podcast, folks.
I'll take a dramatic failure.
Seems a really appropriate time to do so.
Yeah.
Doesn't work, gain a condition. Yep. And I think I know which one. Yep. Okay. Just double checking. You are now shaken, and I imagine this is after flinging supernal power. Which I mean, this is probably one of the bigger spells Songbird has ever thrown, and the first one lands and bounces off, and it's like, okay, try again, and you are filled with this vision of this shadowy entity, just like this black shadow void figure crowned in gold, rich golden investment, sitting upon like a massive throne of gold. It is opulent and obscene, and like, who needs that much? And just feel the eyes just on you, and just there is this weight, and just like, wait, never mind, bail out. So yeah, you are shaken, and we're basically going to say afraid of Seers or Mammon.
Afraid in what way?
It's literally the condition. So basically, anytime your character is taking an action where that fear might hinder her, you may opt to fail the roll and resolve the condition.
Okay.
Yep. And
cool.
So it's just one of those, oh, okay, I'm just going to take this now. Which again, folks, if you're interested in running these games, conditions are very, very good. Give them to your players all the time, because it basically puts the impetus on them for when their character is affected by stuff. So they can decide when it is dramatically appropriate. Spooked and shaken are both very, very good for that.
So I was planning on going shopping for something nice. I don't think spending money is in Songbird's head right now.
Like, I'm gonna go look at my closet and see what I've already got. Yeah,
it's probably something I've only worn.
I'm sure you own a suit. Like,
yeah.
You got
I
money.
mean, we've had the past 6 months. Songbird now has like the double-sided wardrobe.
You got wardrobes, yeah.
It's like a red dress kind of night.
Sure. Is that factory? Was Weird up to anything? Okay. So
I was also texting Tassos.
Okay. Yeah, Tassos replies are pretty quick, and basically it comes down to Atratus, all you mages hate all of us vampires. It's not going to change too much, but if you think they might come after us, we'll keep, into your out, but we do that for mages all the time anyways.
Yeah. Just heads up, these are, I guess, they're assholes.
Sure, yeah.
You just described a mage.
From
As mages
Tassos's
are.
point of view, there's probably just a big bucket that says mages on it, and they're all assholes from his perspective.
There's a bunch of buckets that say Songbird on them, though.
Funny.
Those actually, I when I mentioned that, I was thinking of the jugs it's literally like the water cooler jugs.
Mhm.
Yep.
Just full blood. Tasty
Mason
snacks.
jars, they're canned.
So I did want to give
Shadell a call. Yeah. Cool. Just a quick, FYI, we've been threatened kind of thing.
So the Ministry of Mammon stopped by and said, give us half your territory or we'll ruin the lives of everyone you care about.
Shadell, the guardian of the Consilium's boundaries and borders, goes, the fuck they said? And okay, noted. Yeah. So we're gonna fast forward to tonight, where you all are hosting the council.
Oh, they're coming here. To our workshop.
Oh, okay.
We don't have anywhere nice enough for the council.
It's like, quick, clean up.
Yeah, they're telling us to dress nice. So, okay, cool. Come sit on the forge.
Yeah, like if we're the
Don't sit on the
target,
forge.
the council may not want to come here.
How dare you?
Sure.
Well, and I mean, this is you guys are hosting, so you can decide
Yep.
where to meet.
I mean, I
The
feel, like,
Athenaeum is
It's
there.
perfectly fine here.
I feel like here is fine, but I'm going to take like the day to make like appropriate seating, like a council
I mean, and
space.
let's be honest. Considering your day job, I'm sure there's actually probably quite a number of different pieces of furniture.
Yeah, but
because that
we don't
is
have
gonna
like
be
a meeting room. Just like I'm gonna.
I mean, you guys literally have a meeting room because like
Yeah.
there's office spaces.
It's in the
upstairs.
comic.
Yeah, it is in the comic. Yeah, you do have some spaces, but yeah, there's probably some rearrangement of furniture and stuff like that because this factory basically factory warehouse has working floor, but then upper level has various little office spaces, and one of them is the like this is where we summon shit, but the other spaces are kind of
Like a conference room.
Yep.
If there's not
and-
one, I'm going to make one because I'm very concerned with it looking professional for the council. It's like they're coming over. Let's
yeah, and I think Songbird is like, dude, whatever. But,
the council's coming to our house.
I'm basically a part of the council. Who cares?
I think that might literally be the running thing. Are you really you're still Songbird?
Are you though?
And
Basically
like,
a counselor.
so
Like,
Weird's
come on.
perspective is to try and make it as comfortable and welcoming.
Mhm.
They're going to be guests in our home. We want them to feel welcome.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Titus is right there with you, like the text of like, oh, the council's going, what? I've got to bake.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, Titus is there. I think the whole cabal shows
Sure.
because, at the end of the day, the council is here, so Rose, and Rose is new enough that like she hasn't even been to a, like the Consilium meeting.
General gathering. Yeah.
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
we showed up in our masks and shit.
Right. Which you do monthly. But
Hell yeah.
we just haven't necessarily covered one of those because
We're definitely the extra cabal that shows up with different masks every time.
I mean, let's be honest. When there's a Moros in the cabal, sure, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys, set up a little conference room. I imagine literally a big circle of chairs because I'll be honest, your cabal isn't exactly the towing the line, put the council up on a pedestal kind of thing. It's like, oh no, we're gonna meet in a big
I
circle.
imagine like a office.
Yeah, like the big table, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Right.
flat on two sides and then kind of curves a bit so everyone can kind of see each other.
Right.
And like council on one side and us on the other side of thing.
Everybody is there. The council show up, and it's not exactly subtle outside the front door. They are showing up, and they are obviously out of place. Hadramiel shows up in nearly Catholic priest raiment. They're all dressed to be because okay, Mammon is watching this territory. Sure, we gonna look good.
Ostentatious.
Or the hierarch shows up with a freaking staff. That's all engraved and ruined, and you're like, I have never seen him with what? But yeah, they're very clearly okay.
Gandalf.
Yes.
Can I get a look at that?
Yeah, it is not magical.
Oh.
Yeah, it is literally.
It is fancy.
It's literally an affectation.
Yeah, it is a big showpiece.
That's why we don't like the silver ladder.
Oh, hey. Yeah, depends on the silver ladder, right? To be fair. The arc. But yeah, they all come in and.
And just one more thing before, I don't know if you want to roll for this, but definitely want to put wards on if the council's going to be here.
I mean, you have wards.
Yeah,
wards.
okay,
Yeah,
sure.
got
The
them.
sanctum is
Sure.
warded, yes.
Yeah.
So the counselors show up. Their various provosts show up, and they're basically showing up in pairs, except for Hadramiel, who just shows up. Chodell is actually the first to arrive and actually does a little bit of the whole warding kind of stuff because that's kind of his gig.
Just a layer up on top of stuff.
Yep. And it is a production of people kind of coming and going before the appointed hour, so to speak. But yeah, we fast forward then to you guys sitting at the table with the hierarch sitting, with the counselors to the side, Shodell kind of on the bookend to make it an even number on their side. And since he is, the sentinel. And actually, before you guys even meet up there, you guys meet downstairs, and the hierarch, Sun and Winter, looks too weird and says, "Since this is your house, can you show us what happened here?"
How would I do that?
Postcognition.
Just
But,
include
how
them.
do I share that with everybody?
Multiple
Advanced
subjects.
Okay. I was
Atratus would also be able to share memory if she wanted to.
That's true. Sharing memories with mind.
Mm-hmm.
You can just roll.
I presume.
You can just roll Gnosis plus time for all
Sure.
the care.
Your penalties would offset your yantras, so
And heck, if you cast it from your sanctum,
Yeah.
or from
not
your
a big deal.
in your domain.
Most of the building is covered by.
That's true. Yeah, because you have 3 soul stones at least.
Don't want to mess up, so I'm going to throw some willpower at it.
Sure. Do not want to mess. 2 successes on 10 dice.
10
okay,
dice.
maybe that was necessary.
Yeah, the
better than me.
successes were in the last.
I had 1 on 11, so.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you cast postcognition, and everybody is there to watch as this spectral Tilly chats with a spectral Atratus and Weird, and they just quietly watch, nod. There's some grins from Factory when you basically tell her to no, fuck off, this is terrible. No. The rest have a bit more stone-faced, serious business kind of expressions.
Songbird does not keep their cool at all.
Yeah, I imagine not.
This is the first time I'm seeing it. I'm like,
Oh,
man,
that's true,
go
yeah.
Fuck yourself. I'm talking over it.
Yeah, there's a moment where Hadromiel just kind of places a hand on your shoulder and just one little, all right.
It's like, hey,
pat.
we invited you. You didn't come.
But then, after seeing that, you guys are in the conference room, and Sun and Winter says, "Well, those are a bunch of a-holes."
There's no reason to believe that she's actually from the Ministry of Mammon. This could be another ministry trying to stir shit up.
Factory, replies and says, "Yeah, we are looking through our various records. They're not exactly extensive for every seer in New York. Tilly, might show up, but without her nimbus to really give away who she is, for all we know, she shape-shifted, covered herself in, any number of veils. So what she looks like is not particularly helpful to us, but we'll at least look. I doubt Tilly is her real name, but we'll see. We are looking into that at least. The roster that we have of seers does show, at last count, 4 or 5 active members of the Ministry of Mammon within all of New York, but those are only the agents and mages that we can identify. Obviously, any number of sleepwalkers or sleepers, for all we know, Tilly was a sleeper. And, just coached and told what to say. It's not exactly...
Did she have any spells on her?
Not that I could see.
Right.
Or could you see in the postcognition?
Did I see any in postcognition?
Nope.
Okay.
And notably, because this is something we have messed up a bit in the past. Technically, while viewing postcognition, you can take no action, which would include having mage sight on, and it's one of those wibbly wobbly things. So
yeah, but we have laid that away a little bit.
right. So, but yeah, from what you could see, no. Yeah, so Factory mentions, we're gonna check the roster. We're gonna see the idea of seeing what connections she has makes sense. He agrees and says, from the space perspective, and from the rules that you have all established, investigating somebody is not necessarily the same as you're not crossing any thresholds. Safe passage says you'll be safe, doesn't say that we're not going to check who you are and what you're connected to. Same thing. Yes, you will grant safe passage to people, but if they're a known murderer, you turn them in. So this is your territory. This is your play. Hierarch. That said, the Consilium's stance, and I believe my counselors agree with me, is fuck them.
We're in agreement then.
The real question is how to delay them, counter them, or in some way dissuade them from enacting some kind of plan of revenge. It's going to start with what recon you all can do tomorrow. See what numbers that they have. See what connections that they have. Because if Tilly shows up with a connection to the Minister of Mammon, we're going to have to come up with an alternate plan. But I consider that probably unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing we need to consult is, as Weird has pointed out, if it is not Mammon, that perhaps we make contact with the Mammonites.
Well, one of them's going to have an idea that something's going on, at least.
Like,
what did
heads turn.
I may have reached out towards their hollow this evening. It's fine.
Did you actually do anything to the hollow?
I did not.
Okay.
Did you
not
try
for lack
to
of
do
trying,
something?
though.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was already established.
Yes.
Did you at least remove your nimbus from the scene?
That's not really my style, is it? Let's just assume that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Just kind of lean over towards Songbird and just sort of lowly say, "You never get to bust me with my chops again about doing things about talking to the cabal." And then carries on as if nothing ever happened.
I felt left out from this afternoon. I was taking a nap.
Okay.
So one way or another,
The Mammonites.
the ball she's a rolling. That's how they say it, right?
Sure. Right. Meanwhile, Pip and Moonkeeper are like, no, I mean, sure, we get it. And it's hard to read whether or not this is a, like, that's what we would do, or it's a, yeah, no, that sounds exactly like what Songbird would do.
Expecting them to do anything else is
right.
foolhardy.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I feel like I guess... I don't really want to call up Mammon, but that is the easiest way to find out if she was actually an emissary from Mammon or if someone else is screwing with them.
Right.
Do we have a contact, for them?
I mean, more or less, we would do the same thing, go and knock on their door. Which... I mean, you could do tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess we should.
And use that as hey, we were told that we were meeting, and since we met here, then we'll meet at your place. And Like the hierarch is clearly speaking from the silver ladder side of things, and go in and take that opportunity to reconnoiter their territory, and see what they have. Of course, they may push back and insist meeting back here or at some neutral place, but at least then, if Tilly is there or unprepared or not actually a Mammonite, that should hopefully
We would have
be
that
made
information.
quickly. I don't think they would be all too pleased that somebody is speaking in their name if they're not. And if nothing else, at least might put them on the back foot if they're suddenly inundated with 3 to 5 mages that they weren't expecting to have at their front door. Shodell also kind of leans in and says, and, we at least have cause. We have 9 months of them not complaining, and established, and now they're coming to us.
There's a law thing about this.
Right. The Lex
I feel like if they were going to have a problem with this,
thing.
they should have brought it up to us when we set up, when we were a brand new cabal. And fairly weak, honestly.
What were you saying, Chris?
No, it's like a real actual human regular in real world law, where if someone's not using a property and you go and squat there for long enough and they don't actively kick you out, it's yours.
Right.
We don't recommend this.
Yeah. Sun and Winter goes, yeah, I don't think that'll fly, but...
No, I mean, I didn't say that in character, but...
Yeah.
But, like, if they were going to have a problem with us, the time to kick us out was 9 months ago.
Yeah, when Songbird went around with a magic pen.
It started like, it was a spray paint can. Started tagging buildings.
It was a pen.
It was a pen.
That's bad.
But yes, use that to spray paint effectively various markers and stuff like that. They should have.
And I disagree with the way that they think that our words are phrased, because I drew them. And all we're saying is, hey, we're here. Don't be an asshole.
It literally, our territory just says, these streets are safe.
Well, to be fair to Seer, that would be like us pissing all over the corners and everything, marking up the place and saying this is ours.
Oh, I understand what they're doing.
Sure.
I'm just saying, if they were going to have a problem with it.
Yeah, the time was any time before now.
Good.
Just another thought that since we kind of have a side project that's sort of tweaking the nose of some seers, this may be a distraction intended to distract us from that.
That would be the primary reason we are here. We need to know that the objects that you have acquired are safe, secured, because, I mean, a Seer agent of some form or another, walked in here. Not saying that that's a problem in and of itself, because you have the rites of passage and hospitality, but if this is a ploy to distract you, if this is something fronted by the Panopticon, because nods towards Songbird and says, they've come at this indirectly before with agents of the Paternoster on behalf of the Panopticon, and there is an agent of the Panopticon who knows you all decently well, or at least did 9 months ago.
Sure.
And without needing any space magic, knows at least some of the people that you care about.
Sure.
So,
It is of our, at least preliminary research a little while ago, that he is not directly connected with the Panopticon here.
right.
They could still like call him though.
Sure.
And, especially if you've been pissing them off and, adding a body count tally, his connections might be called on specifically.
I already defended myself against those accusations.
Indeed, you have, for which we applaud you and have a record as in a bronze law stating that such accusations should not be brought forward because they were handled by a dual arcane seen over by the Adamant Sage of the Northeast District of America.
Sounds so official when you say it like that. I would have just said we whooped their asses, but...
Well, yeah, but when we write in bronze law, it does need to be
Gotta give it
silver
words.
laddery.
Sure.
And notably, actually, in this meeting, you are seeing a slightly different side of Sun and Winter. Because generally speaking, when you have seen him, he has been very authoritative and by the book. And you are seeing fuck those guys kind of attitude. The fiercest side of him is showing. So at this point, I have urged the adamantine arrow, kind of nods towards Moonkeeper and Pip, that talons should be made aware and ready. If your discussions go completely awry tomorrow, we want to be ready. Bluntly, we will only be defending mage territory. And kind of looks towards Atratus. The allies that you have made for the Consilium are our allies, and we do want to support them and protect them, but our first priority is to the Consilium. So
they've been alerted, so
good.
Okay. They should be capable of defending themselves.
Oh shit, I've completely blanked on his name. The Mysterium.
Giza.
Mm-hmm. He's on the council. Yeah, he's on the council.
He's the
Masticus.
So Masticus. He just hadn't said anything. I mean, my first thought when they came to us about this, or when I found out about this whole thing, is that your Athenaeum's been in their territory for how long now?
A decade or so.
Yeah. And they haven't come demanding territory from you, have they?
No, but our Athenaeum doesn't claim any territory. We have the building, similar to they have their building. And apparently the sanctum that, Shodell scoffs loudly, have never been registered, never made clear, never announced to anybody, but are claiming them suddenly now. So as such, Shodell, Shodell, you gave us a map when we claimed this territory of everything that we know that the Seers above the board claim to have control of. And we claimed nothing of that. Right. I mean, you claimed the surrounding area, but yes,
we have
and Shodell specifically gets a little bit of a soapbox moment. It's like, listen, if they want to play by the book, they have to let everybody know, and if they're not, then
unauthorized sanctums.
Yeah, or at least not made public, and so you can't come crying about it if you didn't make it public. Which is what happened with Linwood Hall.
Why that wasn't considered against the rules?
It was such an accident. It was so terrible, whatever happened there, but guess we'll never know. And yeah, Shodell, for being the Guardians guy, has a little bit of a thing about those particular rules. Golly gee, you couldn't imagine why. So, yes, the adamantine arrow will be prepared to defend our territories. Specifically, we have worked with Giza and Oceans Under Mountains to have some stationed in the Athenaeum, because that is the largest, and no offense, most important thing in Lower Manhattan.
Sure.
For us to defend. And Giza says we're already prepping some, making evacuation plans for the books and artifacts that we have there, just in case. But yeah, we're not going to play any games. We're going to treat this as a real actionable threat.
Especially the one artifact.
Who is staying with you guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
does he live here?
Yeah.
At the workshop?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he and Titus.
I heard Titus had an apartment.
Oh, I mean, previously.
Yeah.
But no, set up shop here, just because. Why not? It's way safer than his old apartment that he had.
True.
Yeah. This one is can't remember what durability and structure you guys made the walls, and
it's
protected against spirits. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, if something magical shows up, yeah, okay, that's going to be a problem, but
if you really need to, you can hop through the door and go to Peru.
That's true. Judd probably actually makes use of that door fairly frequently now that I think about it. It's yeah, no, it's just head back to the old country.
Homesick.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a walk. Oh man, I hadn't even thought about that. But yeah, him and Alejandro probably oh man, I have a whole side thing that just spawned out of my head. I hadn't even thought about that. But yeah. And of good note, that is also a very, very useful exit for all of you, should, the need arise. But you all think that the grimoires that you have collected so far are safe and secure and, if necessary, quickly removed and moved. Okay. Because while we are concerned primarily about the Athenaeum, that comes in, or those three come in as a very, very close, actually just two, come in as a very close second to be concerned about. So, very well. Is there anything that this council can provide you as counselors and advisors?
Yeah.
I was just kind of thinking out loud.
I was going to say, beyond any information you can give us on the workings of Mammon in the city. But you give us the list, right, of these are the identified people.
I mean, the primary thing, in fact, speaking up, says the primary things that we've determined that they get involved in, basically, it's going to sound dumb, but it's rent.
Gross.
Yep.
Kill all landlords.
Yeah. They get heavily involved in that. Gentrification. Yeah, they're pleasant folks. But yeah, their primary weapon and concern is money, things of value. They promote a lot of the art exhibits, or not art exhibits, but art sales within New York. Basically putting money towards superfluous things. I think they have a hand in most yacht sales. Yeah, where money is involved, where people are distracted by either the race and urge to keep enough money in their pockets to do fun things. Yeah, that's them.
Cool,
and
man.
A lot of that ends up feeding into local laws and things of that nature. But yeah, if you have ways of disrupting that obliquely, might be a decent way to kind of thumb your nose at them. But at this point, that's a 48 hours from now kind of plan.
Yeah, for right now, I think we've as prepared as we're gonna get, because we're not negotiating with them yet.
I mean, not in the style that they came at us today.
I mean, honestly, the only concession I would make for them is to just leave their things alone. Just sort of an agreement that we're not going to fuck with you. But they don't seem to think that's good enough. So
Sun and Winter, speaks up and says, I mean, they're starting from a very aggressive bidding stance, which if they are...
Which almost seems designed to provoke us.
Or they have something in the middle that they're trying to get at and want to make a big show of getting dragged down to that. Because, let's be honest, Songbird alone in this territory is a threat to them. If Songbird actually, So Sun and Winter nods, like he's not happy admitting this, but but if Songbird were to mobilize all of your cabal, and kind of gives a dubious look over at Rose, who's new, but
I'll whip her into shape. Give me some time.
Right. But bringing the whole Rookery cabal together to flash out and in an organized strike, utilizing, a, coordinated effort across multiple spots, it's potentially problematic. I mean, Songbird attempted to completely ruin their, Hallow today. If, that was, coincided with other strikes, or, heck, just had a few
More
others, assisting, in other fashions, could have had a different result.
I mean, y'all. Just kidding.
Yeah, the counselors all together like, nah.
No.
At the end of the day, this council and the Consilium at large need to, have at least some level of plausible deniability, and be able to say, well, I mean, you started a problem with that cabal. That's between you and the cabal. This Consilium has not, done anything.
Sure.
Which I will go on record, by the way. You all were told Lower Manhattan. You all decided where the borders were going to be. Just as a record from your...
You said Lower Manhattan.
Right. And the Sun and Winter says it with a grain of salt, and it was up to you to determine where that was. Again, plausible deniability.
I think we're covered everything we're going to need to cover here.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for coming.
We're just told Sun and Winter to get the fuck out.
Yeah. Subtly.
All right. But, again...
The thought just occurred to me that between Atratus and Songbird, we could turn the entire cabal into killing machines.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Just as powerful as Songbird. It'd be great.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean, again, you start hitting 4 dots in an Arcanum, you could start doing wacky shit. But the higher, the cabal. Excuse me. Wow, I'll get there eventually. The counselors kind of, or look to Hadramiel. It's like, if you need further from us, reach out. Actually, and I think about it, you all have actually pretty close connections to literally everybody on the council. Factory is kind of the wibbly one, but factory likes you guys because you kill Seers and your
Mhm.
and Atratus Amoros, like, who founded a legacy. Let me remind. Excuse me, found a legacy.
Found dead.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Not
my
much difference.
second apprentice was one of hers.
Mhm.
So okay. And with that, you guys, there's a little bit of chitter chatter, but basically they start to make their way out one by one. Leaving out. Hadromio kind of gives a moment of you're good. All right. On the more personal side.
The more we interact, they're gone, right?
Mhm.
So close the door and not even turn around. The more we interact with Sun and Moon, the less and less I like the interactions.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he was fine tonight.
Sure, but it's become a lot more visceral for me. We didn't get shit for the Consilium. We built allies for us because the Consilium ignored everybody that was not a mage. We went out and we built that stuff for us. They're not allies of the freaking Consilium. And dissing Rose right in front of us.
I mean, that's literally what
That's literally what Atratus is.
Yeah.
Dissing Rose right in front of us.
Well, to be fair,
you have all of our
Rose
support,
just
but we're going to
knew.
hang you out to dry at a moment's notice.
To be fair about the Rose thing, she has 2 dots in spirit and 1 in life, and that's it. She is
she's
still
literally
spanking new.
Still.
almost useless in a fight. Like,
I'm like, words all kind of pacing and all worked up like that.
It's like Weird's legacy is tied to your guys' well-being or something.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, so how about if I just dial some numbers and talk to a senior Mammon official in Lower Manhattan and set up a meeting?
if you want to. We have a meeting set up for tomorrow.
I don't trust that meeting is going to be with somebody from Mammon.
That's why we go to their door.
I don't like that idea.
What?
Okay.
Calling Mammon?
Calling them or going to their door.
them. I don't like showing up on their door.
Then, yeah, I mean, if you want to dial one up and say, hey, someone is
already
trying to make
essentially
deals in your name.
They're already essentially not playing by the Lex Magical rules, so showing up on their doorstep and just waltzing into their places, I don't like.
Yeah, and we have no guarantee that they're honoring the same rights that we are.
I mean, they're following the Lex Magica.
Are they?
I mean, that's more of a Pinnacle thing for sure. Like the Seers play along so that there's not open war all the time because it's more profitable to not. But they don't give a shit about the rules.
Right.
Yeah.
They're very lawful evil. They play by the rules when it benefits them.
Right.
Match or a lucky number
Mm-hmm.
for a senior official of.
Do you really want to hit up the...
I want to know. I want somebody at the top to confirm that this is legit.
So,
I think I'll step outside before I do the call, though.
sure. You get a male voice, a little bit on the smoker side, a little bit of the rasp to it. Is it Edward Carter?
Hi there. This is Weird the Seer of the Rookery cabal.
Who?
Weird the Seer of the Rookery cabal.
Think you have the wrong number.
I mean, why would a senior official in Mammon know who we even are?
But
A senior official in Lower Manhattan was the
in Lower
specification.
Manhattan, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try it again.
Try the spell again or the same number?
The same number.
Okay.
Don't hang up. Somebody showed up at our place, claiming to speak
He
for
didn't
you
answer
guys.
you.
Speak for who, guys?
The Ministry of Mammon.
I think you have the wrong number. Stop calling here. Click.
All right. That's interesting. No, I don't think so. That was the right number to get a hold of somebody. So if it wasn't him, then he was close by. That's the way we're looking at him, where sometimes it's a payphone and the person I want to talk to is 10 feet away. But we'll see if I get a response or not.
You want to try a different number?
Yeah, we can do one more number.
Okay.
Be more specific with your fishing, maybe?
Well, that's the problem with
change the
lucky
terms?
number, because lucky number calls the phone closest to them, for instance.
So if it's like a phone in someone else's pocket.
Mm-hmm. So you get a different number this time.
Okay.
Dialing away. And this is Willie Mathis.
Hey, Willie. I'm looking for somebody connected to Mammon.
Who?
Mammon.
It's the same guy. Or, excuse me, same gal calling. Are they calling me? How do they have my number?
Do you have a supervisor nearby or something?
A super... What?
I know this is sounding weird. Just, are you at a workplace right now, or are you somewhere public?
I'm having dinner.
Okay, so just look around. Is there somebody in like a fancy suit, starched collar nearby you?
Is this a prank? I mean, it's just, and there's, a little quiet, like definitely, the muffle of, hand being placed over a phone and some discussion and stuff like that. Another voice picks up, shuffle. Hi, this is Heidi.
Hey, Heidi. I'm Weird. The name with the Y, not the I. Oh, although the other one's true too. Anyway, I'm trying to get a hold of somebody who knows about Mammon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who I am?
Mm-hmm.
So, my cabal, the Rookery, was approached by somebody claiming to be from Mammon today to talk about some territory disputes, and we just wanted to make sure that they were legit and not misrepresenting you.
I'm sorry, this isn't something I can discuss on the phone.
Sure. Can we have a meeting?
Well, I'm a bit tied up at the moment, and I don't really have any time for the rest of the night.
We have 24 hours until they come back. Well, I guess more like about 18 hours at this point.
Call me tomorrow morning, and rattles off some digits.
Will do. Thank you, Heidi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's interrupted a family dinner.
It's a Target thing, right? Sometimes you post
and
the Target.
the sounds of the background noise and stuff like that, definitely in a restaurant.
Okay.
Interesting.
I love how fey magic works. I
So
love it
dumb.
so much.
So dumb.
And like when Rich says it out loud, like I just love how that works.
Durando, who you call, is just like, what kind of weird nonsense? Like,
But they went with it,
Slap
didn't
that
they?
Ding the
Bell,
bell,
man.
man!
I mean, the first guy did.
But
And he was just like, what
They
kind
went with
what
it, which
bullshit
means I
are you
got to
spouting?
somebody who could put me in touch with them. That's how it works. This guy was willing to take a chance and hand the phone to a stranger. It was hilarious. I love it.
Or
It all
more
just sort of comes
specifically,
together.
handed it to somebody who was having dinner with
Dining
them.
with them.
Or having dinner with them. Yeah, either way. That's amazing.
So
we
yeah,
have a meeting with actual
You
men.
know you've pissed this person off real bad, right?
What's that?
Hang on, say that.
I said, you've pissed this person off real bad, right?
Not necessarily. We'll have an interesting conversation tomorrow and see what happens.
Indeed, we will. Yeah. But phones, especially as anybody with space magic or anything with an extra reach to spend, are a very, very good avenue for dropping spells on an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So there are quite a few who do not carry phones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, I'm going to remotely cast, with sympathetic range to turn somebody's phone on, or to, little space and forces. Yep. But yes.
Yeah,
so
you
yes.
could do some serious shit with like space forces and lucky numbers, a combined spell.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are highly placed, why would you carry one? Or notably, if you have space and mind, when you can just reach out to somebody with telepathy. Yep. So, cool. Unless anybody has anything for the rest of the night. We got 6 minutes.
No,
Good
I
for
think that's good.
A lot of head shaking. Sounds like we're good. And don't worry, the ideas that you guys have suggested previously are definitely on my mind. They were very good cabal mates. I was like, I'm kind of running out of stuff. They're like, well, this thing, and this thing, and this thing, and this thing. I was like, yes, these are good things I can do to you.
You did the storytelling thing of, we're not doing any of that shit. I got my own ideas.
But yes, I guess I didn't want you to walk in and knowing what was going to happen. But yes, most of that stuff will probably happen just,
That's and sometimes it's just a matter of inspiration, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a storyteller, if you're ever stuck for coming up with plots or whatever, just ask your players.
Ask your players what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or
it's almost like aspirations are that exact thing codified into the rules of the game.
Yes.
And you should probably do them before Wednesday.
Yep. Also, for those of you who are storytelling, remind your players their aspirations don't have to be something that their character wants.
True.
They don't have to be positive.
Doesn't have to be good. So, yes. Thank you for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend or whatever day it is if you're watching this on YouTube. Please join us in Discord. That is yeetinto.space. I always love seeing new people come in and say hi. I finally remember to join the Discord and then get flooded by people saying, hi, welcome. What episode are you on? Ooh, that's a good one. Or, ooh, just you wait. Just you wait, people watching you. Careful.
Spoilers.
Yes. That said, if you have not joined Discord for any reason and you're worried about spoilers, trust me, I watched like a hawk. Actually, a lot of the community does too.
The community is really, really good.
So we are very, very spoiler safe. If you are caught up, there is a spoiler channel for discussing stuff that's currently happening to kind of keep things active, and you don't have to worry about spoilers there, but that's separate. And of course, if you just want to come by and chat and hang out, we do talk about birds and food stuff and music and all sorts of other wacky shenanigans. And yes, because it was asked in chat, I do have the link to that weird official Knights Radiant quiz. It will be dropped into Discord as soon as I am out of here. Thank you guys for joining us. Come join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Occultists Anonymous, or staylucky.club. I'm so out of stuff to say. Wait, no, hang on. Legend Lore is still up on Kickstarter. I think this is like the last couple days. So if you're interested in it, go back it now, because it's one of the backing it on Kickstarter is the only way to get the really, really cool full printed book. Otherwise, if you want the book later, you have to go do the print on demand from Drive Thru RPG. Nothing against those, but they're not the full-fledged, with the bookmark and the, go check the Kickstarter. Okay, I'm officially tapped now.
Stay lucky.